Alrighty. Um, well, welcome to the top eight of the third tournament for Gods of Gravity. Here we have Kirbs going against all in round three. All right. So you can see a quick start from all, conquesting those early moons, and we see Kirbs on the right side doing the same thing. You can see an initial strategy for coming out from all these players is to go around with the initial troops you have and getting as many moons as are within range. And we can see, I'm wondering how Kirbs is doing on that side, because it seems like all just took all the moons on his quadrant over there. Here goes Kirbs. Looks like he might be a little behind. As we can look in the bottom left, we see the mini map, but we can see that actually the moon counts, those little dots are actually quite even. But as we can see, oh, by that power radius that just expanded, all just took the first planet, and it looks like Kirbs took their first planet as well, which, as we can see, the energy deploys there. And I'm curious to see what the players do after they take their first planet. It looks like all is opting to get the next planet, which is a point defense planet. Point defense are a ship that can shoot down explosives, which is very useful. It's a very useful support ship. And I'm curious, I think, we're using the God of Defense for this tournament, so that's why there's those planetary shields around the red and blue planets. And lasers can't shoot through shields, so I'm thinking that in these God of Defense matchups, it's really going to come down to missiles making the difference, and explosive troops like torpedoes, because those can just go directly through the shields. And as such, I think point defense are going to be even stronger in these kind of matches, because they have the ability to counter missiles. Looks like all is building up quite a sizable force, and we'll see where they're going with that. I'm not sure whether they're going to go for the torpedo planet or somewhere else. Maybe they're consolidating. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what they do with those 49 ships on that planet. And it is a common strategy to unify a force in one place. Unify your army. That way you can react quickly to anything. Looks like Kirbs going for that neutral planet on the side, and they take it. We'll see how... Oh, looks like there's a skirmish at the torpedo planet. It looks like Kirbs will be taking this out, though it is quite close, especially because all is reinforcing it now with some additional troops. As we can see, bottom left, it looks like the numbers are currently favoring red team, as Kirbs has a lot more troops than all at the moment. But that could change at any time. Steve, if you were in all's position, what would you be doing here to come back?
Ooh, that's a tough call. He is not in a good spot right now. I think I'd be pushing the other side, trying to gain a little more ground, take this planet. I don't think I'd be taking this planet as close to Kirbs as he is. This is a dangerous move.
Yeah, and especially, if you're in a position where you're behind, every troop counts, so you can't afford to make a risky attack. You kind of just have to harass moons, and I guess, Kirbs is extending their lead.
I don't know about this one. I don't think I'd have sacrificed my men. I think I'd have gone the other way in this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think going the other side, far side of the map and taking over some of those moons might have been the play here, because now we can see that the troop imbalance only went further into Kirbs' favor, and we'll see how Kirbs decides to press this advantage. It looks like they're going for the sniper planet in the center, which can be a valuable resource, as it can hold down many of the angles, and snipers have long range, so they can help support your other planets.
Yeah,
and especially since the sniper planet is at the center of the map.
Kirbs is in trouble here, and I think he feels it.
Yeah, you mean all?
Or y'all, sorry.
But
yes.
yeah.
He's trying to figure out what to
Yeah.
do, yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it looks like the asteroids just spawned too, as we saw it a little up to there, and it looks like we have Kirbs getting both the asteroids, which is
Yeah.
understandable in this position since all just doesn't have the troops to contest that right now. Though maybe looks like the asteroid. Oh, the far asteroid was
Can you take that?
not really contested, or it didn't have many defending ships. But unfortunately, all was not able to capitalize on that weakness.
And he couldn't take that planet either. That's not good. His troops are now down.
Yeah, 94. I'm guessing, especially with that elite reinforcement about to happen, that Kirbs is about to make a play for Blue's home base.
Yeah. He doesn't even really need to take them out.
There we go. And I'm not sure if Kirbs has power at the moment, but we'll see shortly whether he's able to take. If we switch to, as we can see, yeah, we're already looking at the mini-map from Kirbs' perspective, and we can see that the power range doesn't quite extend to Blue's home base. But now that Kirbs has got that other planet, it just might. But I'm guessing Kirbs needs this specific close planet. Oh, which Blue really tried to defend here, but it was close. But it looks like with 108 ships, there's not much that all can do at this point. And I think all is just Kirbs is just waiting for those power drones to deploy and extend the power radius. That way, Kirbs can make an attack on the home base.
That's it.
Oh,
It is.
there we go. The attack's beginning. And even with the planetary shields, when numbers are so in favor of one team, it's hard to defend.
Team has lost control of their home base. Blue team has been
There we go.
eliminated.
Kirbs has
Red
just defeated
team
all
won.
in round 3, the quarterfinals, and we'll be moving on to the semifinals. Alright, let's get into it. So we're seeing the initial conquest here, where both players rush to capture as many moons as possible in order to boost their early game production. We have, looks like both players are moving pretty fast. But it's hard to say who's ahead right now, but we can look at the mini-map in the bottom left at the different base controls. So each color of those dots represents who controls what planet and with how many ships. So we can see right now that the moons are pretty even, the amount of blue and red dots there. We'll see how long before one of these players makes their initial attack on their nearby planet. I'm guessing that Red is consolidating their troops so they can make a rush. Yep. There they go. It looks like that was a flawless planet takeover, as Red did not lose a single troop, which is really what you want to see early game. You want to be able to use your troops to the maximum effectiveness. Alright. Looks like Monkey's just using a strategy of casting the wormholes out, sending some ships through, flipping it, and then removing it. That way they can get those moons without even having to run over there with the grip to move. it also, in the meantime, it looks like Speedy God has captured their second planet, which is the point defense planet. As I was saying last match, the point defense is a vital tool on these maps with all the shields, since they counter missiles, which are the counter to shields. And it looks like, as I was saying, that Speedy God has gone and taken that side planet, but it looks like Monkey's coming in with some troops to try to counter that. I'm not sure that was the smartest play, to be honest, because of those planetary shields there. With since we're playing as the God of Defense, your planets have planetary shields, which make it a lot more difficult to take. You really need to have a significant numbers advantage to take over a planet. But it looks like Monkey's going for this torpedo planet, and personally, I believe that torpedoes are really vital on this kind of map.
Oh, Big Sigma's going to come in and steal it.
Yep. That was rough. We'll see how Monkey responds to that. Are they going to go? I mean, it is only 10 troops, but also with the planetary shield, that can seem like a lot more than 10 defending troops.
I like
And
that Big
see,
Sigma is kind of playing in his side. He's playing his side, playing around his zones, and it seems like a Monkey's stretching a little bit, and he's kind of paying the price for it.
Yeah, I still see there's two neutral planets on Monkey's side, right, which he hasn't capitalized on yet. And I think that's there's the torpedo planet in that side protected planet in the distance. Now, and it looks like Speedy God's going for the sniper planet. It's shielded, so it's a little harder to take, but once you have it, it's a vital asset, as it allows the snipers there to support all your planets around the room, around the match. Looks like, something I notice players doing is, as the match progresses, some players will sort of forget about taking moons. But taking moons is always important. You have to always have that production. So I was seeing Monkey go for a bit of moon conquest, which is good to see. Of course, it's always a balance. As the match goes longer, there become more and more things you have to do and keep track of. And also seeing some issues with the spectator or something, and I'm hoping that we didn't encounter a bug there, but potentially there is. Try to just avoid that. As we can see, by the mini-map, the outer rings of the mini-map show how many troops you have, and we can see Speedy God has an immense amount of troops right now, and we can see that they're using those troops to try to attack Blue's home base, and I think they have enough here to close it out. Though always with the God of Defense, sometimes it seems like an attack force, even when it's bigger, is not big enough. But it looks like, in this case, it was, and Big Sigma, aka Speedy God, has taken control of Blue's home base, and it looks like Blue does not have the ships required to combat that.
Blue team.
There we go, and
Red
Big Sigma
team
has won
on.
in round 3, and will be moving on to face Kirbs in the semi-final match. We're going to update the bracket and get the next match queued shortly. We'll be right back. let's hop right into it. Alrighty. As always, we've got the initial moon rush. Let's see how fast these players are. Looks like Solar is using the grip to move and run around with ships in your hand strategy, and I think Ferret's using that as well. It seems to be the most popular option. I always like to look at the mini-map in these early game moments. That way we can see who is on top, and based on the control of moons, it looks like it's quite close right now, so it's too hard to say. But it looks like Ferret's going for that initial planet, and we'll see if they're able to take it. Looks like they are, and they only suffered a couple losses, which is pretty good, all things considered. And now Solar seems to be going in on that planet as well. We'll see how they do. It looks like they lost a couple troops to the missiles, but there we go. They've taken that planet now, and the power drones are going to deploy. All right. Now it looks like Ferret's going to go for this point defense planet there on the left, and they got it. I've been saying every match how point defense is super important, and we'll see how these help us, or help blue team defend against the missiles of red. This is as we enter the mid game in the match is when players can start interacting with each other, and once the ranges of their power overlap, you start to see how the strategies change. It looks like Ferret's going for this production planet on the side, and it looks like they've got it. And each one of these, especially with God of Defense, it's really important to take these planets as soon as you can, because if the enemy controls them, they're going to be even harder to take. So I would rush as many neutral planets as I can. Very quickly we see Ferret doing exactly that. Oh! At the last minute, Solar comes in and wipes out the attacking force. That was a good play from Solar. And it was a very intense moment, because the neutral planet was literally at 0. It was being contested by both players.
Yeah, I like that move by Solar. He showed a little bit of patience, but then it actually paid off for him. I thought he was just going to turtle a little bit, but no, coming in to steal that was a great move.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how Ferret plays from behind here. In these God of Defense matches, it can be even harder to play from behind, which is why it's so important to stay ahead, especially in the early game. And every attack counts, and you can be punished really hard for one mistake early on. I'm curious what you think Ferret should be doing in this position, because Red has... Oh, well, actually this attack could be huge, but it looks like Solar doesn't commit. Yeah, but what should Ferret be doing in this situation?
I think it's the same thing as we saw last match. We've got 2 neutral planets over there he's not really taking, and there's an opportunity to get your forces build up those neutral planets and take them while Solar's kind of consolidating.
Yeah, I would be, there's still that torpedo planet there, and I'd be going for that. It's defended by 10 troops, so it's really not hard to take. But once it gets that shield, then it becomes almost twice as hard to take, I feel like. But here comes Solar with the 75 ships, so we'll see where Solar decides to send these ships, or if Solar is going to play more reserved.
Yeah, if it was me, I think I'd go for it. I think he's got enough. He's enough ahead to go for it. What about you, Jack, in this position? Would you take the home base, or would you kind of go around consolidating forces?
I think I'd be consolidating, because and going for neutral planets like the hyper planet, because I don't think I'm quite enough to make a comfortable attack that way. It would really suck to have a turnaround and lose all my troops attacking the home base. But it looks like the critical battle has just happened as the Solar has taken out the entire blue fleet, and now we can see the imbalance on the minimap, and Red will just press their advantage here, presumably once they have power at Blue's home base. And it looks like Solar is moving all their troops up to the front lines, where they're consolidating at that planet, just very close to Blue's home base.
And there's the power.
And yep, there's the power. And we should see a wormhole very soon here. Yep, there it is. And here comes the red. Oh! Here comes. Oh! Here comes the red. Here comes the red. Oh! Here comes the red army. And it looks like what Solar's doing here is grouping up the troops as much as possible. And they're in a really tight cluster here where they can be make attack stronger. I think there's still a debate, or the jury's out on whether pumping up your troops is actually the best attack strategy or not. But it looks like Solar has enough troops here to solidify the win. There's not much you can do in Ferret's position here, unfortunately, to come back from this when you're staring down such a large red army and have such a small army of your own. But Ferret's trying as hard as they can, but after losing those final battleships,
Blue team
that's the end. And Solar has just won against Ferret and is advancing to face Panda in the semifinals, the reigning champion. Alright, we're going to update the bracket and be right back with the next match. Speedy God, aka Big Sigma, versus Kirbs. This is our first semifinals match, and the winner of this will be moving on to the finals. Hopefully, I think all our players are ready here. I just need to give them the go-ahead. Here we go. All right, so we see our players, doing the classic moon rush. Seems like while some have adopted the wormhole strategy, many of the top players just stick to the good old grab and move. I'm curious if we'll see any sun use in this tournament, as in last tournament it was a very popular option, but since then there have been some balance changes to it. Namely, now it is defended by a planetary shield, which makes it a lot harder to take. What do you think of the sun, Steve? Like, we saw it's used a ton in the last tournament, and we saw how strong it was.
Yeah.
What do you think of it now?
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm not 100% sure what the players will make of it. I think it's well worth it, but not if the games are going to go as fast as they've gone so far. This seems to be much quicker play this tournament, even though we have the God of Defense, so it's kind of odd for me. I was expecting a few slower matches and maybe some more takes of the sun, but yeah, they've pretty much ignored it so far with that planetary shield.
Yeah, it can be very hard to take, and now it's more of an investment because you're gonna be losing more troops trying to take the sun than you would in the previous version. But it looks like as we've been talking, Speedy God has accumulated their closest two planets, their production planet and then their point defense planet, and is working on this neutral planet off to the side of the map. And it looks like they're about to get it here. And as I was saying in the last match, securing these neutral planets early is really important. Because as soon as you let the enemy take control of these planets, they become so much harder to take over since they start having the planetary shield. And I would be rushing to take these torpedo planets because they're undefended right now. They're so much easier to take than when the enemy takes them over. So we'll see if Kirbs decides to take this torpedo planet or what their strategy is here. Looks like they really wanted that moon next to the sniper planet, which is always risky. It seems as they've secured it. We'll see if Big Sigma's blue comes and takes this torpedo planet. I think both players have enough ships to do so, but it's just a matter of whether they want to commit, as I think they're worried about being countered by the other player. As you can see, Kirbs just ran in there, and they're fighting over control of this one little moon.
Some movement feints going on here.
Yeah, it is interesting. Sometimes the players will bait each other with movement. Oh, what's going on over there? Looks like oh, here's a big fight. And it looks like it's swinging in Big Sigma's favor. This was absolutely huge. That's what I told you they were worried about is trying to attack one of these neutral planets and the other opponent coming in. And now the numbers have swung completely in favor of Speedy God here, and we'll see what Kirbs can do to come back from that crushing attack. And now it looks like Speedy God's kind of going crazy here, taking over the sniper planet, and presumably, oh, yep, taking the other torpedo planet. And not, oh, I wouldn't go in there, Kirbs.
Yeah, that's a risky choice there.
Yeah, it looks like Kirbs was trying to counter the attack, but was a little too slow to getting there. And now I'd honestly be turtling as hard as I can at one of my bases here. With the shields, it's, you know, you really want to be defending as God of Defense here. You can actually come back if you use you can bait the enemy into doing an attack that would be unfavorable to them. And it looks like, surprisingly, I thought that was going to go a lot worse for Kirbs, but it looks like they've actually managed to equalize a little bit by taking, you know, maybe Big Sigma's blue got a little, that attack was a little bold, so it looks like, you know, Kirbs could be coming back into this game. I think, oh, the asteroids have just spawned, you saw, but it looks like they're fighting not over those, but over the torpedo planet. And it looks like Kirbs really made an all-out attack there, which might have not been the smartest play given that Speedy God already had more troops than them. And as much as Kirbs would like to hold that planet, it looks like not much you can do when you're very low on ships. And I suspect that since the asteroid take here will be very important, and I think Speedy God's going to be able to get both these asteroids. For context, when asteroids spawn, two spawn at once on exact opposite sides of the map. So if one player can secure both the asteroids, that's usually a huge advantage. And in this case, that just might mean the game as those elite reinforcements are delivered to Blue's planets. I would be working to consolidate my troops here and make an attack on Red's home base, and it looks like Speedy God is doing exactly that, and nothing you can do as Kirbs staring down this huge army from Blue. As we can see on the mini-map, just the absolute balance here. If you were Kirbs and you were thinking about if there was a round 2 after this, what would you do differently, Steve? to maybe not succumb to the same fate.
I think I'd play a little slower. I think he rushed it, and he made a great comeback. And he had that equalizer on that defense next to his home base, and he could have, I think, turtled and kind of slowly built back up troops, but instead he countered right off the bat, and just as he was building back up to even ground, he kind of gave that away again. I think that was a crucial moment there for him.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It was looking, Kirbs was behind, but then equalized a little bit, but then immediately threw away, I think, the entire army into trying to attack one of Blue's planets. And I think with God of Defense, you have to be very, very careful what you attack, because attacking can go very poorly. And I think it's key to play slow and you really get the neutral planets, get the moons, play slow, just build up an advantage over time.
Yeah, I agree with that. God of Defense, you gotta defend more.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations, Speedy God. They will be moving on to the finals, where they will face the winner of the other semifinals match, which is Panda versus Solar. We'll be right back. We're going to update the bracket and then queue up that next match. All right, welcome back. This is the second semifinals game where we have Panda fighting Solar. And the winner of this match will go on to face Big Sigma in the finals. All right, got Solar versus Panda. We'll see how, Panda's our reigning champ. Panda has won the last two tournaments, so we'll see how Solar is able to combat Panda's prowess. Pretty standard stuff so far. Looks like Panda's slightly ahead in the early moon rush, and we should see Panda going for their production planet very shortly. They're just gathering enough troops. I always make sure I have at least 2 shield ships, that way I can go in confident that I won't lose many of my initial troops. Looks like Panda did a pretty good job there, not suffering too many losses, and we'll see how Solar's doing. Looks like they're micromanaging to avoid those missiles, which is always a good play. Even if it takes a little longer to take that initial planet, it's good not to lose as many troops. We'll see now what they plan to do. I suspect it's the point defense planet, which is next. And we can see Solar's already working on this one, but is avoiding those missiles, which could potentially kill many of their troops. Missiles are always dangerous since they can go straight through the shields, and they can blow up 2 ships at once. But there we go. Solar has got that planet. I'm not sure how long it took Panda to get that, their equivalent planet. But now, yep, as I was saying, getting these neutral planets is especially important, and Panda's doing a good job of securing those before Solar can. And we'll see, if I'm Solar, I'm going to be really trying to get that torpedo planet. If Panda gets one of those other planets, it could spell disaster, as it's hard to come back from that due to the planetary shields. And we'll see if Panda realizes that Solar's taking a little too long to take that torpedo planet, then we'll see if Panda decides to take that planet that would rightfully be Solar's. And if I'm Solar here, I'm not looking at this red planet over here. I'm looking at that neutral one, that undefended one on the other side of the orbit ring. That looks like a juicy little base I could take over. I think it would give me a good foothold there. But it looks like Solar's deciding to go around and secure moons and maybe try to secure this production planet on the side of the map there.
Can't tell if Panda's baiting him or if he's just moving around the map, because Solar seems to be following him instead of focusing on that neutral planet.
Yeah, something I also noticed is that Solar is actually at fleet capacity right now and is not producing any ships. So Solar really needs to either A, lose some ships, or B, take another planet to expand their fleet capacity. And I'd be rushing that torpedo planet right now. But maybe Solar doesn't notice their fleet's at capacity right now, and this is giving Panda an opportunity to build up even more troops. Oh, maybe here we go. I think Solar has realized. Oh, but Panda's gonna try to counter. But I think Solar's trying to bait that attack. Looks like Panda's preparing a wormhole which will counter Solar's attack here. So it's interesting to see how, what would you do in Solar's situation here? Do you commit, or do you set your sights somewhere else?
Yeah, he's got him in a bit of a gambit there.
Oh, yep. Oh,
that's it. Oh. Ooh, that's rough.
I would not be going down there. That is how you lose your entire army in about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Looks like Panda's just going to consolidate. I'm surprised by this move by Solar.
This is just a way to throw away your army. I think really what you want to be doing is finding first any neutral planets, and then if there are none, you really want to be playing for moons and maybe sneaking in a little quick attack on one of a weak base that maybe Panda's not watching at this moment.
Yeah, being at ship capacity for so long and not taking any neutral planets, and then
first
here we go,
takeover?
First sun, nice. Of course, it has to be Panda.
Of course. Panda's a known proponent of the sun, and if you're unfamiliar with how the sun works, is once you've defeated all the neutral ships, it starts counting down, and it will deliver a powerful buff to the team who controls it after the timer completes. And then after that, you better watch out, because it will explode. So you have to move your troops out of there. And then this cycle will repeat approximately every 2 or 3 minutes. Alright, and Panda has been buffed here. And they're sending in their buffed troops, which have superior firing speed and turn speed and many other things into blue. And now there's really nothing you can do against 70, approximately 70 buffed ships. And it looks like Solar knows it and has given up.
I wonder if he just didn't realize he was at capacity earlier, because he was playing pretty well up to that point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would have just rushed that torpedo planet as soon as I could while Panda's distracted with other things. Because Panda's very good at counterplay and keeping an advantage. So you have to sort of use confusion and just try to be sneaky in what you do, and just play. You got to play consistently and play smart in order to win against a player like Panda. All right, and so Panda has now advanced to the finals. We're going to update the bracket and get the finals. This is going to be an exciting match, which is going to be Big Sigma versus Panda in the finals. Alrighty. Not sure exactly. Maybe there's some confusion. now, or... But it looks like, there we go. Alright, the players are off. Looks like a pretty standard strategy for both players. I'm interested to see. It seems like the formula that players have been using is take those initial moons. I'm not sure how many there are, approximately 6 or 7, and then take that initial production planet, and right after go and take that point defense planet. I think all the strategies we've seen have used that same opening. But I'm curious. I think where the openings differ is after the players take that point defense planet, do they go on to take that side shielded planet, or do they go for the torpedo planet? And I think it's kind of interesting. And I think I would actually go for the torpedo planet first, just because it's not shielded, and I really want to secure that before my enemy. And if I could take both torpedo planets, then that would be huge. But of course, moons are important, and we see Kirbs diligently going after all the moons they can. I expect to see this torpedo planet over here not stand for long, though maybe the players are using a different strategy or place different values on things than I do. We'll see if these... I'm curious to see if these side planets fall first, or the torpedo planets, because while the side planets do only have 9 defending turrets, they are protected by that planetary shield. So it is a dilemma of what is better to attack first.
Seems like there's some indecision by the players too, kind of running around taking anything.
Yeah, I mean, both players, it seems like, are playing pretty slow and methodical here, which is definitely valid, especially in a God of Defense mirror match. Maybe the players are afraid that once they commit to taking one of these torpedo planets, or one of the outside production planets, that they'll be countered by the other player.
Which is pretty smart. I mean, we've seen that a couple times so far, and whoever counters is usually the victor. So, not a bad choice.
Yeah, we'll see if Kirbs here just decides, you know, that Solar is not doing too much, and it's just gonna go for this side planet here. And both players are actually at fleet capacity right now, so it's literally just effectively a stalemate at this point. It's like a little squabbling over moons, though. I'm really curious what will happen next if a player decides to commit and make a play. And it looks like, you know, with enough troops, there's, you know, both players have approximately 50 ships at their disposal, if not more. Could easily take one of these neutral planets. And I'd rush in and take that torpedo planet before the opponent could react. If I've seen them walking around or something, I'd just zoom in, and I think you could take it within a couple seconds, given how many troops you have with a well-positioned wormhole. Oh, going for the sniper planet. Alright, we have Kirbs committing to this attack. And it looks like, oh, before it can be taken out, here comes Solar. Oh, this is a critical moment. These are their entire forces fighting each other. And it looks like Kirbs is coming out on top.
Ooh,
oh boy. Okay.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, what are you doing as Solar right now? What is your plan? How do you recover?
I think you pull back and grab that torpedo planet. I think you have to go for it, because you're gonna, if you're not grabbing it, now that Kirbs is ahead and he's got the sniper planet, it's gonna be trouble for Solar coming back.
I would try to secure as many planets as I can, and then just defend those the best I can, and just sort of turtle, honestly, and then turtle and hopefully recoup some production over time. You know, just squabble for some moons maybe with a couple ships. Oh, but it actually looks like there's an asteroid. Asteroids being mined right now. It looks like both players have one. I see in the top right, you know, in the distance there, we have Kirbs just completing the mining of his first asteroid, and it looks like Solar is going to probably do the same, if not already. There we go, and asteroid in the distance has just been mined by Blue. So not entirely bad, you know. We've got, you know, evened up a little bit, though. You know, Kirbs is still at a troop advantage here, and is deciding to take these neutral planets. And right now, as soon as I see that, I'm going to be going for that other torpedo planet. Because while the other your opponent's distracted, you know, you have to make good use of that time. While they're busy with something else, you can come in and really make a good play that they can't react to.
Yeah, I definitely think that's an underrated skill right now, is managing what your players do. Making sure you always have an eye to what they're up to. Because you get so focused on what you want to do and what you're doing that you can lose track of them, and that can spell doom. Especially in a situation like this, where anytime Kirbs moves, Solar needs to counter and get ahead, or try to balance out with another planet.
Yep, and it looks like Kirbs has just taken that other torpedo planet, and it's not looking. You know, if I were Solar, I would have done everything I could to get that other torpedo planet before Kirbs here. And it looks like a pivotal defense here is actually Kirbs is losing a lot of ships. We're looking at the mini map, and Kirbs is losing a lot of, I think, not a successful attack. And it looks like the numbers are equalizing here. Wow. Look at that. Now the game is back to equal. While Kirbs has more planets, they don't have more troops. This is huge for Solar. I'm interested to see what they can do to press this opportunity, and I think it's going to be about those asteroids. If Kirbs gets both these two asteroids, it could spell disaster. And I think Solar needs to really rush and get that one. As we can see, you know, you can see in the background briefly that Kirbs is mining that other asteroid in the distance, but it looks like Blue has secured this close asteroid. But Blue also really needs to take a planet here. They're going to be at fleet capacity, and I don't know which planet I'd be going for, but I would need to rush one right now while Kirbs isn't paying attention, because especially like that elite reinforcement might be almost snuffed. You know, if you're at fleet capacity, you won't be able to spawn all the troops that can. But here we go. Just go in here and take this planet. I wouldn't be wasting time. I would be just really committing to this, because I'd be afraid that Kirbs is going to come in with a large defending force. But it looks like Solar has taken over the planet. All right. This is definitely a great match. We're seeing a lot of back and forth here, and I think you know, Solar's been on the back foot this whole game, but is now in a much better position than they were in even 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, for sure. But did you see that move by Kirbs? That was really impressive. He did that feint, and then he took the last neutral planet in order to get that last bit he needed for fleet capacity. I think that might really put him over the edge if he plays right.
Yeah, and now it's really coming down to fleet capacity, right? In a slow match like this, you can't afford to be on the team with less planets. You know, especially as like you have 102 ships that you're about to be staring down. Here, you got to make sure that you get those asteroids and get those planets. And as you know, the players seem to be pretty comfortable with each getting one of the asteroids. No one seems to be overly, pushing too hard to get both. Which is interesting. I think if I were Kirbs, I'd really be pushing to get both those asteroids, because if you're fighting at asteroids, there's no planetary shields, so you kind of just have the advantage if you have more troops. And look at that sniper planet, is absolutely has all their Kirbs is consolidating completely at that sniper planet in the middle, and this is a powerful position with 120 ships. Oh, here we go. And that's going to be a quick sun takeover.
The sun has been freed.
So what do you do here, Jack? Yeah, if you're Solar, do you take this? Do you fight for the sun, or do you just let that go?
you let that go and you hunker down and you hope that hiding behind your planetary shield is enough to repel this attack. I think you really have to.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting. You can take it, but the losses.
yeah, you can't afford to be losing
Red
any. I
team
feel like you
has
need to
been
be behind the
buffed.
planetary shields and at the bases. You need to be proactively defending the bases you already control here and waiting for the buff to expire. And maybe you wait for Kirbs to make an overconfident attack. Oh, and here we go. You really don't want to be staring down 127 buffed ships. Oh, the home base attack. Here we go. Oh. I feel like this is not a defense. You really have to have your ships already at the planet they're going to defend. You can't just come late. Like, you need to be so proactive with it because you need to be fighting the enemy at the same time as they're fighting the turrets behind the planetary shield, and you can't just come in late, especially now that, if you come in late and you've already lost your home base, don't forget that your opponent will have a planetary shield at your own home base, which can be especially rough.
It's like a slap in the face right there.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go, though.
Blue team
And it looks like
has been eliminated.
Kirbs has defeated
Red
Solar in the
team
bronze
won.
match, and will have just one bronze placing, third place in this tournament. All right, and we'll be right back with the finals. Stay tuned. All right, the finals are underway. Let's see how these players play. We've already seen both of them fight different opponents, but now we get to see our top two players fight. Will our reigning champion Panda stay on top as number one, or will Big Sigma, aka Speedy God, take the number one spot and bump Panda down to second place? Classic opening from Panda, taking that planet, actually suffering some losses there, but none too bad. I think looks like Blue is slightly behind here, just taking the planet now, but that's okay. We'll see who gets their point defense planet first, or if one of them decides to do a different strategy instead. Looks like Panda's going for that point defense planet right now. Looks like there's some problems as you're fighting against those neutral snipers there, but it looks like Panda has secured that. And it looks like Speedy God has done the same. I think it's really key to be rushing these torpedo planets as soon as this power is deploying here. I'm going in on those torpedo planets, and I'm doing that while the other player's not looking. And it's interesting to see Speedy God going for this side planet here, and while it does only have 9 turrets compared to the 22 of the torpedo planet, it also is covered by that planetary shield. And as such, I honestly think that taking the torpedo planet first is probably a better strategy. And it looks like their Panda goes, just deciding to throw their troops inside of that shield. That way you can shoot the turrets freely. Oh yeah, and here we go. Oh, this is huge. Both players better micromanage here as much as they can, because this. Oh my God, this is close. This is coming down to the wire here. Oh!
Oh my goodness.
Come on, as more troops come through the wormholes.
Wow!
Oh, it looks like
Wow! What a battle.
Yeah, that was intense. Okay, Panda needs to recoup the losses. I mean, they're still both low on troops. There's not really too much of a difference here. But yeah, Panda needs to recover, needs to take some moons, and honestly needs to try to take that other torpedo planet. I'd be trying to get as many troops as I can, and maybe starting to pick off those torpedoes there. And it looks like Panda might be doing exactly that, gathering enough troops to make a quick attack. Looks like a little bit of a moon conquest here. And I'm curious what Big Sigma, Speedy God's doing in this little brief window of time, right? I would be, you know, it looks like Blue's just deciding to fight for these moons, which is not a bad strategy here. They want to push they have the planet advantage, so they want to push that as much as they can. And keep the planet advantage and keep the production advantage. Looks like another skirmish of these moons. Looks like going in favor of Panda, though I'm not sure what the losses looked like on both sides. But honestly, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't be squabbling over these minor moons. I'd be going for these neutral planets, and it looks like Panda might do exactly that. They're coming in with a decent amount of troops, and we'll see what they do here. Whether they decide to go for the torpedo planet, and it looks like they are, which I think is a great play here. Though it is defended by some torpedo ships, which are deadly. They have a little more range than normal ships and fire a volley of explosive torpedoes, which can take up to 3 of your troops if you're not careful. But it looks like Speedy God's actually playing some proactive defense. We see them sitting there with the wormhole in hand, ready to move their troops wherever it's needed.
I think I'd try to steal this planet too. I think I'd steal this
Yeah,
from Bandit
so-
if he's going to go for it. Here it is. Let's
Yeah.
see. Speed it up. Oh, he's going to let
there
him
we
have
go.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sniper planet. Looks like Speedy God's going in on that, trying to get the powerful position. But it looks like at the same time, Panda's making a play for the planet that Speedy God just left. And this is a great match so far. We're really seeing a lot of planet switching control and a even match so far. Oh, here we go. Looks like an attack on the point defense planet. I feel like, you know, planetary shields make attacking take I'd say twice as long at least. So you're able to play a lot more defense, but we didn't see Panda trying to defend that planet. Might have just cut their losses at that point. As it can also be risky to defend coming in late. As if you take too long to come in, then you're effectively attacking a planet, not defending it. Oh, but here comes the first 2 asteroids. We'll see, will one player get both of them? Or will they each get one? And it looks like Panda's... Oh, maybe not. Panda might be greedy and trying to go for both. Oh, but at the same time, Speedy God goes for Panda's home base while Panda distracted the asteroids.
What a sneaky move. Oh, he's out of power. He's out of power. Oh, no.
Oh, my... Oh. And now Panda's gonna get both the asteroids here. I think. Unless Speedy God can defend, but it looks like now Panda's just taking all the troops and going... I thought he was going all the way to the home base, but maybe not. What's Panda doing? Going for the sun. And this could... If Panda gets this, then it spells disaster, because there's no way you're countering that as Big Sigma here. Honestly, you need to go to your home base and just defend right now, because you do not want to be coming late to your home base to defend. And I think, you know, big Speedy God's really trying to, you know, take advantage of this time window while Panda's troops are all tied up to take some planets. But I think that's really not what you want to be doing. I think you want to be defending, and he needs to get home right now before the Red Army's at his doorstep. And here the Red Army comes. Oh. And that does it. Wow.
I respect that move by Speedy, though. That was such a good move. If he had power, he takes this match. That is it. And he was just right there. He was a hair away from winning this. Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
respect for that.
insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what planet that we lost there to lose power, but that was if it had if Blue had retained power, that would have been the game, because once you've taken that
Blue team
home base,
has
you
been
have power there. So even if you lost the
Red
other planet,
team
it
won.
wouldn't matter.
Yeah. So I
Nice.
guess the big question is, did Panda know about that planet, and did he strategically take that planet, or was it an accident? If he strategically took that while he was being attacked on his home planet, that is probably one of the best strategical moves I have seen in the game.
Yeah, if that was deliberate, that it was insane.
Yeah. We have to find out later. We don't have player interview cams on right now, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, I definitely have to find out. We've got to talk to Panda and see if that was intentional, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think for next tournament, guys, we're gonna be after each match is over, we're gonna have turn the microphones on and let the players talk a little bit, whether they want to brag or whether they want to talk about strategy or just yell into the mic. We'll find out. But that look forward to that in the next tournament. And Steve, did you want to make some announcements about the seasons?
Oh yeah, so that wraps up season one. Season one wraps up, and one thing we're trying to do is we want to get some sort of IRL item, a hoodie, a coffee mug, something like that, to the person who wins the most first place tournaments during the season. So in this case, it is obviously Panda, as he's won all three tournaments. But it'll be nice
Yeah,
going
and
forward. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, if you're out there and you want Panda to be dethroned as much as I do, then you gotta get in game and practice up so you can take Panda out in the next season. We have tournaments every 2 weeks, so our next tournament is in the first well, in 14 days. So each tournament we're getting better, and the logistics are getting better and everything. So um, we're really excited about this all, and looks like we have our players
Nice.
having a little party right now. Yeah, so expect the leaderboard and game to be updated within the next couple hours, and our based on that list, our players will get their assigned cosmetics.
Yep. Nice. Thanks everyone for playing. That was a lot of fun. Great matches.
Yeah, great matches. All right, bye everyone.